Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. I wanted to look forward to next year, to 2024, and a bit of a schedule or calendar of events that are going to be going on for Star Citizen throughout the year. There are a huge amount of events and festivals each year in Star Citizen, as well as major patch releases. We have a separate video on new features planned for 2024 already, but this is going to highlight events and what you can look forward to each month in the year to come. So it's going to be 2954. This sort of in-game year. Star Citizen is set 930 years in the future, but mirrors the date. For January, you're going to get scheduling. Cloud Imperium basically take a look at the roadmap and plan out the year. This is so important this year with Squadron 42 being feature complete and a load of the dev teams moving from Squadron 42 to the Persistent Universe, trying to get a load of the Squadron 42 features in-game and just build more of Star Citizen's Persistent Universe. CIG shows typically come back along with their sort of regular updates mid to late Jan after sort of coming back from their holidays. You'll have a big meaty monthly report, sort of November and December combined, but looking forward to what they're going to be doing in January and February. And then early February, you'll be getting a big roadmap update as Star Citizen start again with their fortnightly roadmap update. And this should reflect a load of plans that they've got for the rest of the year, including things like 3.23, probably 3.24, and Alpha 4.0. Your first proper event is going to be Lunar New Year. So this is probably going to start around the 26th of January and go on to around the 12th of February. It's a reflection of Chinese New Year. So in real life, that's going to be Year of the Dragon, but in-game, it's going to be Year of the Dog. So it'll be Year of the Dog 2954. There are red envelopes that appear everywhere in-game during this time. They can be turned in for some Alpha UEC. There are various red and gold ships and ship skins that you can purchase, and some free flair that typically goes out as well, probably dog and envelope related. We had some wooden roosters last year, and they rewarded people retroactively a load of envelopes of previous Lunar New Year's as sort of additional flair for your account. Quarter more. This is around the 11th of February-ish, and basically it starts at some Valentine's Day. Here you get paints and mini ship sale and things like the Hornet Heartseeker, which is a specific loadout and skin for the Super Hornet. There are armor sets typically. There's lots of sort of pinks and purples and reds, sort of very Valentine's Day-esque colors. Stellar Fortuna is typically going to be around the 17th of March. It sort of mirrors St. Patrick's Day. This is a celebration of friendship and adventure and luck in the verse. It's about green ships and paints, which will be on sale. They sell some sort of rare stuff like the 890 Jump, the Constellation Phoenix Emerald, some sort of green skins for these ships and vehicles. Any sort of community contests are focused on that. Show adventure, show you being really lucky, show yourself partying, all that sort of stuff. As we come to the end of March, you'll probably get your Q1 patch release. So end of March, end of Q1, you'll get a major patch around then. So Alpha 3.23 is the expectation here. This could include anything from updates to master modes, to persistent hangars and freight elevators, FPS combat updates, new character customizer, the star map overhaul, and a variety of new ships and vehicles. On the 1st of April, we have Triggerfish. This is April Fools in Star Citizen. Cloud Imperium also put out some silly stuff. They've previously done Flat Planets or a Chris Roberts cologne, something that's a bit of a joke that looks real until you actually take any form of time to read it or look at it. You basically can get a forum badge if you click on some of the silly stuff that CIG put out normally. Then, one of the big events of the year, we've got Fleet Week. I'm expecting this around the 17th of May this year. It's typically around sort of 10 to 12 days to 2 weeks sort of time period. It's otherwise known as Invictus Launch Week. This is a massive military ship sale and expo. Basically, you can try Star Citizen for free. There's a load of ships to try each day. That sort of changes with a different manufacturer. There are new ships and vehicles that will go on sale or concepted as well. The UE fleet are flying around with fireworks all around. You see all these big military ships. You see things like the Javelin and the Idris, but also things like the Bengal Carrier. You get to do that cool Javelin tour. There are recruitment bonuses, lots of discounted starter packages. It's a bit of a recruitment drive is the idea. That's what's going on in lore. And at the end of Fleet Week, you get Drake Defense Con. Drake take a different hall out because they're not invited to the military sort of conference. And they got a load of cool Drake ships. Pretty much the whole range there. It is one of the biggest fundraising events for Star Citizen for the year. There are limited ship waves as well, so they sell things like Idris and Javelins in very limited amounts. It's a big event. It's like a smaller, more combat-focused version of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, which we'll come to in a bit. Sort of mid-June, so after Fleet Week, mid-June, you have Alien Week. So no alien ships typically at Fleet Week. Though that might change in the future and you might have some hybrid alien ships as well. But Alien Week, mid-June, it's a week celebration of First Contact Day with the Banu, alien races. There's some sort of interesting things to translate from Tavaran or Banu or Xi'an or whatever. There's an alien ship sale. And this sort of also coincides with Cloud Imperium starting to push international Bar Citizen celebrations as well. So they do some like Bar Citizens around the world and then they start off their Bar Citizen World Tours, stuff like that. Then, towards the end of June, you'll have your Q2 patch release. I'm expecting this to be Alpha 3.24, although it does lie in the window of Cloud Imperium wanting to do a summer release for Alpha 4.0, but I think that's more likely going to be the Q3 patch, and we'll come to that in a bit. For the whole of July, you have the Foundation Festival. So this is all about helping players understand and play Star Citizen, get them into the game, get them learning how to do particular gameplay mechanics, using the guide system to pair yourself up with a teacher and then flying around in the verse together, learning whatever skills that you want to learn. And this can get you flair, potentially ships. There are starter packages, referral bonuses, that sort of stuff. All a big recruitment drive for getting people in the game and teaching them how to play it. Around the 19th of September, there's going to be Pirate Week, because it sort of coincides with International Talk Like a Pirate Day, but basically, Star Citizen terms, this is pirate ships and skins that go on sale, and they sort of incentivize you to do Pirate Swarm. There will be events that include some form of piratey elements like Jumptown or Xenothreat or Siege of Urizen. They'll probably have pirate armor on sale, stuff like that. You then got the Q3 patch release. End of September. So Cloud Imperium said that they had, for the summer window, Alpha 4.0 roughly targeted for that. So you can expect, if they make that by the end of September, you to have Alpha 4.0, server meshing, static server meshing with the Stanton and Pyro system, both being effectively on the same shard, but different servers. You to be able to travel between them with jump points and a whole ton of new features. But actually getting Pyro, being able to play Pyro, travel between the two systems, a huge amount of expanded gameplay, tons more stuff to do with cargo. Moving into October, whole of October is sort of celebrating Star Citizen Halloween, but otherwise known as Day of the Vara, which I believe is actually technically celebrated separately on the 22nd of October, but it's the whole of October they do as their Halloween event. There's lootable Halloween masks, Halloween ships and skins, spooky arena commander modes. But yeah, go around looting in boxes and you find these rare Halloween masks. Much more looking forward to this sort of stuff once it's permanently on your account in the future, when we've got a live Star Citizen 1.0. I'm going to be really getting into the sort of hunting down stuff like this. But with Day of the Vara and some of the other events, some of the things that you find do get permanently added to your account. Another one of the biggest events of the year, CitizenCon. So CitizenCon 2024, 2954, probably going to be around the 12th of October. I believe the 10th of October is Star Citizen's birthday, as it were, and they tried to have CitizenCon around that date. It was a little bit later in 2023, admittedly, but I suspect they're going back to this sort of earlier date now. It's a huge fan fest. There's a ton of presentations and development information, loads of reveals and announcements. Obviously, 2023 had some of the best announcements, with Squadron 42 being feature complete. They showed the engine demo, which was absolutely amazing, and all those engine improvements should be coming into the game over 2024. It was a 2-day event, which I am expecting them to continue doing a 2-day event. I'm also expecting it to be in the UK in 2024. They've got their massive studio in the UK, and they're only going to be centralising more and more operations in the UK, in my opinion. They have a big physical event, but you can watch it live on stream. There's goodies packs to buy, which were very expensive this year, but hopefully they'll get a bit cheaper again next year for all the like flair and stuff that you can get. It's worth also mentioning they sometimes sort of pause the Q3 patch release until CitizenCon, or they'll have an additional sort of 0.1 patch with CitizenCon that will come out. But this is also true of the next major event, which while you're reeling from CitizenCon, you've then got the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, the IAE. Now, I'm expecting this to start either on the 15th or the 22nd of November. It's typically a 2-week event. It is a massive ship expo and sale, while the sort of Fleet Week stuff, that's combat and military ships and logistics ships supporting them. This is pretty much every ship that's ever been in Star Citizen, barring a couple of sort of promo ships. You can go to these expos, they change every day, what ships are available, you can rent them all for free. There are limited ship wave sales with like the really rare and expensive ships like the Idris and the Javelin. They typically release 3 or more new ships and vehicles. They often do silly skits and videos with Jax McCleary, basically a space Jeremy Clarkson. Didn't do it this year, but expecting it to be back next year. A lot of people were working on finishing out Squadron 42 stuff and doing the engine demo and doing CitizenCon stuff. So you typically can try Star Citizen for free during the IAE and all that sort of jazz as well. Then we move into more recent and current ground. Luminalia. This is typically from the 10th to 22nd of December. 12 days of Luminalia. It's Star Citizen Christmas. There's a calendar to open. There's gifts to find in-game. There's missions which are about delivering presents this year, and it looks like going forward there's interesting loot to find in cargo containers and that sort of stuff, lootables. I suspect they're going to be doing that for a lot of the festivals and various events again in 2024. They sort of expand that out to be more and more stuff to do. Q4 patch release mid to the end of December. Obviously we've just had 3.22 come out, but end of next year hopefully it's going to be 4.1. And I don't really know what they're going to have in that patch yet. They haven't really said. There's a lot of stuff that they're working on, potentially like things like base building, the Polaris. That's the sort of stuff that you might see in 4.1. And then at the end of the year, Cloud Imperium, typically the end of December, put out some of their financials and talk about them on the Cloud Imperium Games website. This is giving a bit of deeper information to what they spent money on, their financial health at the moment, their plans for expansion. Useful information for sure. And we know that, for example, in 2023, they have broken their previous best year's financial funding records. I think they're at 114 million now. I think it was 113 million in 2022. So will they hit another high in 2024? Maybe is the answer to that. We don't know yet. Also, beyond all of that, and in addition to it, I suppose, community contests. Typically, with all of those events, you'll have some sort of community contest, a screenshot contest, things like that. Cloud Imperium love to chuck those in. There'll be arena commander modes turning up, forcing you to have particular skins as part of like the Christmas event or pirate event or whatever. They'll go, and now you'll do gun rush, but you're all skeletons. That's what they did for the Day of Vara, or you all got the Christmas lights on your helmets. So that sort of stuff. You can put more experimental modes in and rotate them out, and you'll find every week there's sort of like a new or changed experimental mode. You're going to be getting tests on the preview build, the preview channel for pyro, server meshing, engineering, resource management, master modes, things like that throughout the year. Each month, you get a monthly report, obviously that big one in January. Inside Star Citizen and Star Citizen Live, you'll be getting those pretty much every week, except when they're on hiatus. They go for like a 3-week hiatus every time a major patch is released, so bear that in mind. Could we get Squadron 42 Episode 1 released in 2024, or at least a release date? Potentially. We don't know yet. It's in its polishing phase. A load of those features are being brought to actual Star Citizen's persistent universe now. Cloud Imperium said that it's going to be a watershed year for Star Citizen in 2024. It could be the biggest and best year, or it should be the biggest and best year yet. I would be disappointed if it wasn't. But boom! That's it for your sort of Star Citizen 2024 highlights and schedule, a calendar of things that will be going on throughout the year. There are things like the Daymar Rally, I believe is on the 20th of January, biggest community event in Star Citizen, biggest fan run event. It is a very silly, very long rally across Daymar. with a ton of different vehicles and classes of sort of race. It gets better and more interesting each year as they add more vehicles in, but also as they improve a load of the Star Citizen visuals and physics and all that sort of jazz. So check that out as well. But are there any other things that you sort of want to mention here that you should add to the calendar, like major events? If there are any other sort of big fan events that you think should be added to this list, chuck it in the comments below. I'd love to find out about them if I don't already know about them, and be reminded of them if I should have had them in this list. But yeah, whatever your questions, whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope you have a great 2024.
Ho ho ho, it's me, Father Nordmus. That's right, it's that time again to see who's on my naughty list for who doesn't have a VPN.
No, that's Northern Claus!
Grass from Northern Claus, Timmy. You should be scared of not having a VPN. As you know, Father Nordmus punishes all that disobey him. It's the perfect Nordmus present, Timmy. There's no excuse. I can see all of your website history, and I'm going to sell all of your data, Tim.
NordVPN helps protect your online activity, gives you greater accessibility to the content you want by changing your location, and much, much more. Go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer before Das Northern Claus finds you. Every month we have a Star Citizen ship giveaway. For December, we are giving away a Drake Corsair. It's the winner of the 2953 Ship Showdown and one of the stars of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. This fantastic multi-role, multi-crew, long-range mission runner can do a bit of everything in-game, and it has a penchant for exploration. Just comment on any of my videos during December to be in for a chance of winning that. There are further details in the description below. A big thank you to everyone that goes the extra mile in supporting the channel via Patreon or the join button under my videos and becoming a channel member. It will net you some exclusive content from Zin and I, but also it really does help us to be able to create daily Star Citizen content, as does sharing these videos and commenting. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the verse.